Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. Got another manga spotlight for you today. I am your host, the Ice Dragon Rayron VR. Today we're going to be taking a look at another volume of The Incurable Case of Love. This is volume 3. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got on the back. Alright, the mean Dark Lord has turned into a kindly knight. It's like a dream come true. Is this really happening? Nyanse became a nurse to chase after Dr. Kari Tindu to keep herself safe from a former patient who is stalking her. She stays with Kari and pretends to be his lover, but the stalker becomes furious and attacks. As she loses conscience, she reveals to Kari how she feels. Alright, and then this is a Viz Media production. It is rated M for mature, and it's got an MSRP of $9.99. $12.99 for Canada and £7 for over there in the UK. Proper money. Proper money. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Again, there will be spoilers as we go through this spotlight video. So if you don't want to get spoiled, feel free to watch this after you've read this particular volume. With that, let's go ahead and dive into the chapters here. Again, I love it when the manga authors and writers and artists do a character highlight summarizing each character, because sometimes you gotta take a break from a volume and read other manga that are out there, and being able to come back here and see all the characters again, giving a brief description, just reminding you of the characters, and then giving you a nice little summary. That's always a nice touch. That's something I wish all manga would do. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we've got the chapters are labeled love, and so we've got the 11th. You love someone with all your heart, only once, your first love indeed. 12th love, those who don't know the sadness of love cannot speak to the flavors of love. 13th love, love can change a person, sometimes beautifully, and at other times foolishly. I know that. 14th love, the more formidable a rival in love is, the more passionate they are, surely. 15th love, the more I ponder it, the more I'm lost at sea. That's love, right? So again, very interesting particular chapter names there. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into it. So we start out with where the last volume ended, which was Sakura was being stalked by a former patient who was obsessed over her. And so Tindu realizes that she was being getting ready to be grabbed by this patient stalker, and Tindu intervenes, and then in the scuffle, the stalker actually landed a hit on Sakura, because Sakura wanted to protect, Tindu and so forth. But she takes a nasty fall and actually gets a good gash on her head, bleeds a little bit and goes unconscious. So as we progress through the story, Dr. Tindu obviously takes care of her and becomes a patient. And you can see the romance blooming a little bit between these two, because both of them share their true feelings. And, one loves the other and so forth. And, it's a reminder that sometimes you can't take love for granted, because you never know when that's going to be taken away, either, voluntarily or involuntarily. So it was nice to see that, Shakira was thinking that, oh, I'm going to die. I have all these, things I want to do, and voices her, love interest with Tindu and so forth. And Tindu says it right back. But once she gains consciousness again, she thought it was all a dream. But, really it wasn't. So as we go through the chapters, we start seeing, again, the bonding of these two particular characters. They go on their merry way. And then in past near the middle section, we start to see, it's interesting how these two chapters worked. So one chapter deals with a colleague of Mr. Tindu, and I'm trying to remember, let's see, Kugi, hang on, I can't remember the exact name. Let's see here. See, this is why I love this reference here. Here, there we go, Kasugi. So Kasugi, needed help. Well, we didn't know at the time, but Sakura goes over and helps with Kasugi. And then, you can see kind of the jealousy starting to tap in with Tendu. He's wondering what is she doing with, Kasugi. And so he kind of barges into the apartment that Sakura's at. And then when he barges in, he sees both of them. And then out of the corner, there was his sister, Ruko. Again, I apologize. I will butcher these names. Um, so, yeah. But come to find out, they were helping Dr. Tendu's sister with cooking and taking care of things. And so, a little bit of jealousy, which is pretty, it was nice to see. And then, like in the next chapter, it flips. So we get a brand new nurse who very similarly gets trained up by Tendu, very similar to how Shakura is being trained up now. And Shakira definitely gets kind of super jealous that this new nurse is got kind of the hots on for Dr. Tendu, and basically becomes an apprentice. But what's different about this is that not Shakira, excuse me, this new nurse called Yukia. She's able to be a little more competent in the training when it becomes a nurse, and she's able to get trained really, really quickly. So Tendu realizes that, this nurse is already good to go. She's learning really quickly. And Shakira definitely kind of confronts Tendu. And Tendu can see that she's jealous. And then, Dr. Tendu softens up and has a little bit of a nice romantic moment, saying that, you're not fully trained yet because, you can always be by my side. So it's like that was kind of touching and definitely smooth. When I read that line, it's like, man, you've been struck by a smooth criminal. It was nice to see that courtship and that flirting. And normally I'm not into that type of things, but again, it's all about the writing. It's all about the character development. It's all about how we grow with the character. Again, when it comes to story, being able to be immersed into the characters is really what's important to me personally. And I felt immersed. I can feel and relate to these characters. And it's just really heartwarming to see. But so we go on. And we go on this business trip. And so it's a medical conference that, Sakura kind of works out the schedule to go with Tendu. And, Dr. Tendu is not stupid. He knows why Sakura is with him and so forth. And so as luck would have it, they go to the seminars. She actually takes it decently well when it comes to the presentation as being informed, and that we start to see a maturity factor kind of switch for Sakura, because it's the first time we start to see her as like a young adult to a mature woman. It's really nice to see the transformation that happened on this business trip. And so we start to see kind of the flip role a little bit, that she's starting to study more and take more of a passion of being a nurse. And she starts to thank Tendu for being able to ride along, because we start to see that change in character, growing up with the character. And it's like, it was a really well done chapter at the very end, seeing that shift. And another thing that kind of happens is that, Tendu falls asleep early, and so Shakira is actually kind of passionate with all the notes that she took from the lectures and everything. And she ends up kind of looking at the notes and then passing out, which was hilarious. And then Tendu sees Shakira kind of passed out on the table. And, we actually saw some courtship kind of happen, and kind of just, the definition of being, a honest and humble man. And he basically tucks her into bed and, falls asleep with her. And, it was quite touching to see. And that's kind of one thing that I kind of want to highlight in this, is that you don't get that much in storytelling. Usually it's like, it's all about the woman and all this wokeness that's going on. But yet we have these two characters that are taking care of each other equally. Shakira is trying to take care of Tendu by respecting his space and respecting his work and everything, while we've got our, a true definition of Prince Charming, I guess is the best way to describe it, or White Knight. Um, but anyways, so she's passed out. You know, he basically puts her on the bed, and then even does the whole tucking in and everything. Again, very well drawn out poses here. Again, you become part of the character, and then you got both of them just happily falling asleep. And so, yeah, definitely one of the best chapters I have kind of just fell in love with. This volume is definitely pretty darn good. Just because of that one chapter. That one chapter really, I really grew with these characters. And again, that's what a story should do. It should be able to grab you into it, be immersed into it, and then you start to see our characters grow. That chapter kind of reminded me a little bit of Harry Potter. You know, we're going through the characters there, and we start to see them growing up as they go through the years of Hogwarts. You know, I kind of got that same feeling here with Sakura by the second to last chapter of this. It was nice to see a character actually maturing and starting to grow up a little bit. It was beautiful to see. And then by the end of it, we get kind of a big kind of cliffhanger that Tindu is approached by another doctor there. And apparently, Dr. Tindu had applied to go study overseas. And so that's where the cliffhanger lies. But overall, I did enjoy Volume 3. I love seeing these two characters grow, not only individually, but as a couple, because this is something you really don't see much anymore. And it's like we start to see them grow up from both perspectives, from the male perspective, from the female perspective. You know, the fact that they have their flaws, they both have, you know, the jealousies towards each other, and the fact that they can still come together and, you know, be that romantic couple. Um, it's a sweet type of read. Definitely, if you want the one, in my opinion, this is a really good way of portraying romantic comedies, because you know it knows when it needs to make a joke, and it knows when you need to get back immersed into the characters and just to be serious. It knows the writer, the author, balances that out beautifully. And that's just something you don't get nowadays. So I highly recommend, if you want a good romantic comedy, pick up these volumes. They're really, really good. And I do apologize. I just realized my camera decided to time out on me. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any manga suggestions, feel free to look at the link down below. And like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free if you want to support my work. There's a whole bunch of references that you can help me with that. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.